Yeah. So hello everyone. This video is regarding full annealing process. If you know, in the previous video I discussed regarding what is annealing. So full annealing process is one of its type. Okay. So the main purpose of conducting this full annealing is to relieve the internal stress and to improve the ductility. By this module you should know what is internal stress. It's been discussed way before fourth module. Around in second module I have already discussed about it and told. Please, if you have doubts on internal stress, please go back to the second module. There it's been discussed. If you have any doubts as to what is this annealing, internal stress. Okay. So moving on, the process of this full annealing, how this full annealing process is done is that before concentrating on the graph, we will know that it involves heating the metal, specifically steel, above the 727 degrees Celsius. If you know, 727 degrees Celsius is LCT, lower critical temperature. So we will be heating metal above 727 degrees Celsius, hold it there for certain considerable time, and then cool it slowly. We do slow cooling process. We don't cool it very fast. Okay. So slow cooling is done. So with this, austenite will be decomposed to form other phases. Okay. So what I mean to say is metal is maintained, which is maintained at room temperature, will be heated much beyond the lower critical temperature, say at 900 degrees Celsius. So when it is heated, austenite will start to get the stability, because austenite is stable above 727. So it will be transformed to this austenitic phase, and then this steel specimen, it will be allowed to cool slowly. So when you cool it slowly, in case of hypoeutectoid steels, there will be formation of pearlite and ferrite. And in case of hypereutectoid steels, there will be formation of pearlite and cementite. What is hypoeutectoid, hypereutectoid? That is there in the previous module, third module. Please go through. But the main difference between the two is with the percentages of carbon. So for hypoeutectoid steels, the percentages of carbon is less than 0.83%. So that is why this region is hypoeutectoid. And hypereutectoid will have from 0.83 to 2% of carbon. Okay, and needless to say, beyond 2% of carbon, it will not be steel anymore, it will be cast iron. This was also discussed in third module. Please go through that also. Okay, so what happens when slow cooling is done in case of hypoeutectoid steel? This austenite, see, when you have heated, it is in the austenitic phase, gamma iron. When you are cooling, there will be formation that austenite will be transforming to pearlite and alpha ferrite in case of hypoeutectoid steels. In case of hypereutectoid steels, it will be pearlite and cementite. Okay, so the same I have represented here. Gamma, upon slow cooling, gamma iron nothing but austenite. Upon slow cooling, it will be pearlite and alpha ferrite in case of hypoeutectoid, pearlite and cementite in case of hypereutectoid. And if you have gone through solidification of steels in cast iron, this combination is nothing but white cast iron. Because the percentages of pearlite is more, it will be quite white and shiny, looks like a pearl-like appearance, so it is white cast iron. And in case of this, the percentage of cementite will be more, that is why it is called as grey cast iron. This is discussed in solidification of steels in cast iron in third module. Please go through. Okay, so just a reminder that this is white cast iron and this is grey cast iron. So what I mean to say is, by full annealing process, austenite will be forming white cast iron and grey cast iron. That is what I mean to say. Okay, so this is full annealing process. And again, with all the processes that I will be discussing, the applications and disadvantages, they are all in detail. It's in the material which I have provided in the slides. So I will not be discussing that. I mean, it's easier for you only to understand. So I won't be explaining on that. Mainly, I will be discussing the process and the purpose, why it is done. Okay. So this is regarding full annealing process. In the next video, I will discuss on process annealing. the next type of annealing process. Okay, thank you.